welcome back to Vintage Lace Journal, and today I'm going to start doing some pages inside the journal I made the other day. So this is going to be like a bit of an art journal for me to try things and just have a bit of a play. So opening up to my very first page, we have some old scrapbook paper and part of an envelope that I've obviously popped my name and address off, and this is actually a pocket as well. So what I thought I was going to do is I've got these napkins that were reduced from Christmas. So I'm going to put that onto the double page spread like this and then glue it down. So first of all we have to take the top layer off. It's only the top layer I want from the two layers. A little bit fiddly, so go to the corner and then just separate the napkin. Some are 4-ply, this one is a 2-ply, and I'll use this plain part in another project. And then I'm just going to roughly cut the size here. It does scrunch up slightly when the glue goes on, so I will make sure that I leave a little bit in case that happens. So I'm going to roughly cut along here and then across. Now I use the tops of hairspray. My husband uses lots of hairspray, and I've just mixed in here some PVA glue with some water. There was obviously some brown paint on my brush, it's got a bit of a funny colour, but this just waters it down, and I apply a really thin layer all over where the napkin is going to go. I find using a brush easy for this, but make sure you wash them out afterwards, otherwise the glue hardens and it can ruin your brush. So all the way over with the glue. Nice thin layer. And then we go on with our napkin. So these lovely gold spots should shine through. Make sure that goes into the crease there. It doesn't matter if this bumps up at this point, it gives it more of a textured feel anyway. So just pressing down with my hands, because I'm now going to go over the top again with another layer of the PVA glue mixed with water, taking care of the edges to make sure the edges are nicely sealed down. And again, don't need too much, otherwise it'll take a long time to dry. But you can see the change of colour where the napkin has taken to the paper. I'll keep going over. And also on this envelope, because it's quite slightly thinner card or thinner paper, it has bubbled up a little bit, made the envelope go a little bit bent. But once that dries, that will straighten out. Okay, let's make sure I haven't gone on to the next page. So I'll leave that to dry and then come back to show you what to do next. So now this is mostly dried, we can get rid of the excess paper around the edge. Two ways to do this. If it's really nice and dry and you can get a raggedy edge effect, you can just simply go along and tear this off. I tear down from the page. I think if you tear up, you'll end up pulling it off this side as well. So just tear along the edge. And like I said, it's more raggedy, which I think for a junk journey art journal, in my opinion, is better. Or you could use scissors if you wanted to, which is quicker, and you get a straighter edge. You can just cut it down. So whichever choice you want to do, it's up to you. I'm going to probably, let's say, cut this bit, but it might be easier to just tear it off. And again, like I said, in my journal, it doesn't matter if it's frayed edges. I think it just adds to the effect at the end. So what I'm going to do now is this is where I start to play. Like I said, this is my art journal. However you want to do things is up to you. So I've got this Distress Ink Shabby Shutters, and I'm just placing some of that down onto an acrylic block, spraying just a small bit of paint, water on there, and then I'm going to get my art journal and just place it down random places to pick up some of that ink. A little bit more. And this is the fun thing about art journals, you can do whatever you like. Not expecting too much, I think, because sometimes you think things are going to go one way and they change and are completely different. Okay, so that's picked up some of that green colour on there. I'm now going to do the same process, but this time I've got a chalk ink, and this is like an orange colour. So again, just pushing it down onto my pad, which will release some of the ink, and then spraying some water on there so it will soak up hopefully on my paper. Ooh, look at that, lovely. And again, just randomly pushing down, picking up the ink. I'm just going to go for some more of that. Loving the colour. Just keep looking back and think, where do I need a little bit more? Where haven't I got much? And keep going until you're happy. There we go. So, added some colour to the page. Just that way around. So I'm just going to dry that with my heat tool, and then we're going to come back and start to do some stamping onto this next. Okay, changed my mind. Before we do some stamping, I'm actually going to do some embossing. So I've got this Stamperia Mixed Medium Cream Paste, and this is in gold. And I can't remember where this stencil is from. I'll have to have a look and find out. It's my local craft shop, which is a little gold mine. I'm going to put this down again, randomly placed. I've got lots of gold on this side here, and obviously got a strip here without any gold. So I'm just going to use this stencil to place some of the gold on here. Now, before I do that, I am just going to pop some paper underneath here, just so it protects my next page in my art journal. Okay, let's have a little go. So when you open this up, there's a silver foil lid. I keep mine on there. I think it might keep it a little bit more moist. So I'm just going to peel that back. And as you can see with these pastes, it's quite a thin consistency. It doesn't drop, but it's not really thick. So I just get some of that onto my back of my spatula. And then just starting on, just place it and scrape it across. You get some of those squares in as well as those circles. It doesn't matter where you go with this again. There we go. I'm going to pull that off. You can see it's that lovely metallic-y gold on there. Put some more down here. And then just to marry it up, I'm just going to put some on this side as well. Just a little bit at the top. Okay, and then any excess on here, wipe off. And then put it back into the pot, otherwise it just dries up. And then make sure we put the lid back on. And this needs to be just washed straight away or gone over the damp cloth. So there we have our gold. So again, just let that dry and then see where we go next. Now this is mostly dried, and having a look at it, I think it's very gold, it's very shiny. So I'm going to bring in some black soot distress ink. I'm going to go around the edges to start off with first, and then I'm going to add either some note or script to the back as well to give it a bit more depth. So just inking up my sponger and just going around the edge just to dull some of this down. Again, just going to go in with my piece of paper to cover up the one underneath so I don't get black ink all over that. Black and gold's a lovely combination, it's one of my favourites. So here with that edge is torn, it gives that nice kind of raggedy effect, which I really like. And going all the way around, try not to get the lace, just the edge of the actual page. I'm going to come down a bit further because I quite like how that's starting to look. So it's always best to build things up, I think. Start with a little bit. You can always add more on, but you can't take away. Not dried. It's quite thick there. There, so that's kind of like dull that down quite a bit. Quite like that. So I'm now going to go in with the same black ink. And I'm just going to pick, this is a lovely stamp with a butterfly on it. Sorry, moths on it. I'm just going to pick up the black script around the edge. That's one of the things on my to buy list. Is a stamp with just script on it. So keep going around and adding more and more text. I'll actually fold that over to stamp this part. It's not quite dry. I'm going to go on the other side now, some notes. And find little gaps to put those in. And there we go. I've also got these dies, which is like a time travel with stamps and cogs, and I'm going to get my black ink again and put some of these cogs and clock around there as well. I've changed to Tuxedo Black Memento ink. It's a fade resistant dye, just coming out a little bit better on my stamps. I'm going to go off the side with this as well as full ones here. That's the clock, and then go in with some cogs, and then change the size. These are a lovely little set of stamps. Again, I've had these such a long time, I wouldn't know where you would get these now. And then the last little one. Just randomly plopping them where there's a space. And there we go, quite happy with that. So now I'm going to have a look through my magazines. I'm going to try and find an image to go over this. I'm going to try and keep them with a black theme, gold theme, and then some text to go with it as well. I've added some of this washi tape onto some of these areas of gold because I was finding it quite big and too samey and very, very quite shiny. So I've got some of this matte black washi tape with the little gold dots on it and added it to that. There's a couple of images I'm toying with. I quite like this moth to go on there as well. And I found this image out of a magazine, but I think it's got too much colour compared to the rest of my layout, so it's quite orangey and blue. So for now I'm going to put this moth here, and I'm going to see if I can find another one. I quite like this one, got a browny blacky, perhaps to put here. I'm not sure, I'm going to have another quick look in my stash. So I've gone with these two images. I've got this one, which I'm going to stick there, and this one, which I'll stick there. And these are from, I found this lovely book on eBay, Butterflies and Moths, and it's full of just the most amazing pictures of butterflies. I can just cut and use in projects. My favourite ones, these beautiful blue ones. So yeah, keep an eye out for things like that on eBay and any book sites. And the last thing I'm going to do is add a sentiment. So I'm using these quotes again from the Tim Holtz Ideology, and thought this one was perfect. Always be on the lookout for the presence of wonder. Butterflies are the most amazing, beautiful creatures. I'm going to pop it along there first, into the crease, and then over. And there we have it, my first page in my art journal. Thank you for watching.